In this video, I'd like to give you some advice on how to sing on stage with the highest chance of a good performance. It might not surprise you that it's mostly a mentality thing. Maybe you already have performed and you know what you're capable of, but on stage you were dissatisfied, to say the least, of how little of your actual abilities were shown. So it's not about your abilities. Something happens on stage that is compromising your performance. We're going to talk about that, and then I'll give you 5 ways to overcome that and pave your way to sounding and looking more and more like a pro on stage. Number 1, expressing is feeling, not acting out. I hear so often from students that their goal is to actually move people when they sing. They don't think that their singing is interesting or expressive enough to make people connect with them. Problem is that people tend to go about this the wrong way. When trying to be expressive, we try to manufacture or make the expression. That's probably not convincing. People see through that. They can tell if we are faking. Instead of making facial expressions and grand body gestures, do what good actors do, and that's actually not as difficult as you might think. Go back in your memory to a scenario in which you had the feeling that you are trying to express. For example, if the song is about love, don't just generally sing about love, but choose a person, a specific person whom you love or used to love, and put yourself in a situation when you are talking to them personally. Better still if you have a memory of actually doing that. Trust me, if you feel it, the rest of us will too. Because in the right situation, everyone is an actor. When something surprising happens, everybody seems surprised. Everybody has surprised faces on. When something sad happens, people have sad faces on. We are all capable of being expressive. It's real, not fake. So use your emotional memory. Go back in your memory to a place when you had that feeling when you're singing. Number 2, go all the way with your real feelings. Once you're on a track to expressing a real feeling, don't hold it back. It might take a period of time of practicing on stage to get used to the exposure, to daring more and feeling more comfortable, but that's the goal. When you feel something, give it all to us. Don't spare the audience. Don't think it's too much. If it's real, it's not too much. In fact, if it's not all of it, we, the audience, lose interest. We want the real you, and we want all of it. Isn't that what you want in a good performer? Number 3, listen to the mantra monkey, not the nasty monkey. If you're watching this video, you are familiar with the nasty monkey, even without knowing that he's called that. The nasty monkey is a voice in your head that starts saying disruptive and discouraging things to you when you perform. Oh, that note was off. You sound ugly, boring. Oh, you made a mistake. This is not going very well, huh? Because these are thoughts in your head, I have to be straight with you. You might not be able to make them stop. I don't believe it works this way. Thoughts don't just disappear on our command, but I am a great believer in having alternatives. So what you can do is have an alternative monkey, whom I call the mantra monkey, saying different things to you. Maybe pretend that the nasty monkey is saying things to one ear and the mantra monkey is talking to the other ear. The mantra monkey should be saying maximum of 3 sentences to you every time the nasty monkey is trying to sabotage your show. Here's an example set of mantras the monkey can say. It's okay, forget it, just keep going. Express yourself, give a good show. And just do that trick that you like. By that trick, I mean a vocal trick or exercise that you have been practicing and it seems to work for you. For me, a good one during shows is something that helps me relax the shoulders and the jaw. Because in shows, all the tension starts to build up here because of the nerves. So I use something that helps me release down. So you choose yours, preferably in advance, and you let the mantra monkey remind it to you whenever you need it. Number 4, refrain from judging the performance as you go. Of course, we are all very critical of ourselves, so during a show, We will have that nasty monkey telling us how bad we are doing. But every time you feel something is not going well during a show, you need to remind yourself and accept that one simple fact. What's going on in your head is not what reality is. You might think it's going really bad, but on the outside, actually not so bad. To this day, I still cannot tell sometimes if a performance is good or not. And I know that by now, having experienced so many discrepancies between my own judgment and the audience's opinion, and even the recordings, in the majority of cases, you sound better to the audience than to your own ears. And same goes for how nervous you think you look. Sometimes the audience doesn't even notice. Keep this in mind. This is really true. In the next and final item, I will give you the ultimate way to raise your chances that the audience will actually get the best version of you. Number 5, do not interrupt the flow. Keep going. That's one of the things that a mantra monkey should be telling you, right? What that means is that you don't stop and you don't slow down no matter what happens. That includes even things we categorize as major screw-ups, such as running out of air, sounding horrible, forgetting lyrics, forgetting the melody, and singing out of tune. Yes, even that. You don't stop and you don't spend even half a second on it. You go back immediately to following the mantra monkey and pretend that it's all going great. Here are 2 reasons why I insist on this one most of all. If you do spend any amount of time thinking of that mistake you made, it will show on your face. And that's it. Everybody can see it now and they know something went wrong. For sure. That's what sets apart professionals from amateurs at the end of the day, because you bet that the very best ones make mistakes too. But when they make them, you don't see it on their faces. And because the eye sees first and the ear hears later, they have a much bigger chance of getting away with any screw-up. In fact, most of the time, people don't notice their mistakes or even think they were on purpose. I can think of a really good example with one of the greatest tenors in the world, Plácido Domingo. A friend of mine told me this experience, that she watched a concert of Plácido Domingo, and it was spectacular, of course. But one of the most amazing moments, in her opinion, was at the end of one of the songs, when he's supposed to finish the song with a long note, but he actually ran out of air. So the greatest tenor in the world runs out of air at the last note, which is supposed to be very long. So he opened his mouth and the sound started coming out, and then it stopped because he had no air. But his face actually didn't change. So his mouth stayed open and he kept on the same expression and the same momentum as if he was still singing. And it took her a few seconds to realize that he was actually not singing. Think about it. Second reason it's very important to not stop is because stopping to think or judge or even slow down and hesitate while you sing will actually interrupt your airflow. Now we are down to a physiological technical matter. Singing depends on airflow. You compromise your airflow, you compromise your singing. So you guarantee it will come out less good. But if you keep the airflow going, you actually have a very good chance of the problem correcting itself as you go. Sort of like smooth out. I've seen it time and time again. So again, it could be that your bad moment will be noticed. It could happen, but if you keep the airflow going, you actually raise your chances that it will not be. These are my guidelines to having the best chance for your best performance. Speaking of great tenors, Luciano Pavarotti said himself that the beauty of this profession of singing is that you are never sure completely that the sound will come out well. It is a game of chances, a gamble, if you will, and don't let anyone sell you anything else. And leave a comment, if you will, share your experience in singing, or maybe after you've tried these guidelines for a bit. I would like to know how it goes. That's it for now. Keep up the good work. Enjoy singing.